Hello everyone, welcome to Best Recipes with Sharon. Today I have a special guest with me. It's my granddaughter Kayla. She's helping me and we're going to be doing golden princess cakes. We made the dresses out of fondant and we enjoyed doing these princess cakes, so I hope you do too. I will give you the recipe on how to do the golden cake and also show you how to make cake pops. Before getting started, just a reminder that my cookbook is available on Amazon, and I have provided a quick link in the description below this video. Grease and line a 9x11 inch cake pan, and there was a silicone mold that came in the kit, so we're going to try that as well. But I'll also show you how to do it without it. I use the whisk attachment on the mixer, and I go ahead and crack open 4 large eggs into a separate bowl. And this way I can be sure I haven't got any eggshells in it when I've cracked it open. So I take it then and add it to the large mixing bowl. I turn the mixer on medium-high and beat the eggs for 7 minutes until they're light and fluffy. Meanwhile, take half a cup of butter and melt that in a medium saucepan. Add 1 cup of half and half cream. Also add 1.5 cups of white sugar to the saucepan. I turn the heat off, but let it sit on the stove until the eggs are whipped. You want this to be warm, but not really hot. And back to our eggs. They look like they're starting to lighten up, and they're quite fluffy looking, so I did time it. It was about 7 minutes. Now then add the warm milk mixture to the beaten eggs. Measure 1/4 cup of corn oil and add that to the batter. Then add 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Then 1 tablespoon of pure vanilla. And then add 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder. Then you'll need 2 cups of all-purpose flour, and add that in 3 increments. Mix it very slowly in between each addition of flour, and only long enough to make sure it's well combined. So you can note here that the consistency of the cake batter is just right for pouring into the cake pan. Kayla gave me a kit as a gift to do the princess cakes, so this little silicone pan came in that kit. We're going to try it out and see how it works. Because we're making more than one princess cake, we're going to pour some into the 9x11 inch pan, and we can show how you can do your own shaping. Place this in a preheated 350-degree oven on the middle rack. This should only take approximately 24 minutes, but check it with a toothpick to make sure it comes out clean, and keep an eye on it. Your oven may be a little bit different. Okay, they look like they're cooked well. The ones in the silicone pan, they pop out really nice and easily, but they seem a little overbaked. The smallest one seemed to brown up a little bit too much. Because they're in the same pan, that's a little bit of a problem. And we still had to trim it some. Now, for those that don't have that kind of a mold, we'll go ahead and do the cake pan thing, where we're going to cut it out with cookie cutters, or whatever size we can find that works best. And look what we did. With all those cookie cutters I have, we found that a glass was the perfect size, and a smaller glass, the perfect size for the middle one. But there was one cookie cutter that would do great for the top, so we used that one to finish it off. Keep all your extra cake pieces, because we're going to make cake pops with that, so that nothing goes to waste. And cake pops are actually quite delicious too, so you'll enjoy them. And we'll have to make our own hole down the center, so we'll use a straw for that. And here we're going to trim the top one to make it a little bit more rounded, so that it helps with the shaping, and it'll look just like it's supposed to when we go to put on the fondant. And once again, save your extra pieces. Rather than taking the time to make my own fondant, I did pick this up at the bulk barn, and it makes your life a lot more easier if you can start with that already. So we cut some of the fondant off and put it into a Ziploc bag, and then we add our food coloring depending on what color we want our dresses to be. So we're going to match the colors up. One's going to be pink and the other's going to be a pale green. I like to use the gelled food coloring. Just makes it a little easier, not quite so runny. So I put that on, start with a little bit because we want this to be pink, not red. And so you will massage it until it turns the color you want it to be, and if not, you add a little bit more. Same thing with the green. Now I start off with these in a Ziploc bag because it is a little bit messy to start with and it will stain things. So I put it in that Ziploc bag and massage it through the bag. Now we want to soften the color a little bit. So we're going to add a little bit of yellow to the screen just to make it more like what matches the top. You can get the rest of the family involved helping to work the colors into the fondant. You can choose whatever type of buttercream frosting you want. We chose chocolate today. So we'll put the layers together with the frosting between. It will help to hold the cake together as well and add a little bit of flavor when you go to eat this. And you can make your own buttercream. There's lots of recipes for that. I have lots of recipes on the channel for that. Or you can just buy some buttercream that's already made up because you don't need a whole lot of it for this recipe or even for the cake pops. So you might find that it's a little difficult to mix a whole batch up for all that you need. And yeah, we got serious here. We got out the gloves and we kneaded it even more until we got it to the color and consistency that we wanted it to be. This actually helps you too for rolling it out because now it's a lot smoother texture and easier to roll. We started by using the rolling pin and the little measurement tool that came with the kit. But it wasn't too long before we brought out the big guns. So this is the Cadillac of rolling pins. This will persuade the fondant to go where we want it to go much easier. Now for the pattern for our dress, we need the very first circle to be about 7.5 to 8 inches around. You can use a bowl to do that, or if you have a cutter, all the better. And on the first layer, it's better to have a little more than not enough. If you needed to, you could trim the excess off. And you take that first layer, put it on, and be very decisive when you do, because you've got like one shot at it. It's hard to take it and put it on and take it back off again because the crumbs will be sticking to it. So put it on and leave it there and shape it according to how you'd like it to look with the dress flowing. And then the next layer, and you can shape that a little bit less than the first layer, as you can see here. And then we're going to put the doll down through the middle, the top of it. Now we had this in a kit, but you could use half of a Barbie doll. There's different ways to do that as well if you don't have the kit. Now this leaf cutter came with the kit, but Kayla took it a step further and put a lot more detail into it. Now Kayla's completely designing the dress for the first princess, so watch and see how that's done. I'd like to take a little moment to thank Kayla for making this day extra special and so much fun. She made great contributions to this video with her artistic abilities. It takes a little bit of time to do the decorating, but it's well worth it. The only problem was they're almost too beautiful to cut into. Now what do you think? If you're impressed and liked it, please leave a comment in the comment section. Now on to the next princess cake. This one's going to have a pink dress, and we'll show you a different way of designing it. So keep watching, and then I will show you how to make cake pops at the very end. These are so much fun. Now with the green dress, we just used the first 2 layers. In this dress, we're going to do 3 layers. Because the green dress, the 3rd layer was the leaves. So the 2nd and 3rd layers are circles with a little bit of a wedge out of it. Then you need to slit the center just a slight bit so that it's easier to get it to fit nicely. I think we'll put a bow on the very front with some ribbon. Check out how this is made. You'll fold it in and behind itself, and take the long piece in the middle and tuck it over the top to finish the bow. Attach that onto the dress wherever you would like it to go. We're going to put that right smack in the middle, and then we'll use a tool to try and open up the bow a little bit, because by putting it on I squished it a little bit. It's kind of fun to pay attention to the details. Now we'll take the small strips of fondant that we've already cut out, twirl them a little bit, twist them so that they'll look like this, and then put it down underneath the bow so that it looks like ribbon. If you have trouble attaching any of this, you can slightly moisten it with a little bit of water. And it's good to stay with it and work at it while the fondant is still moist and hasn't dried out on you. We added some frost-like sprinkles and a few little beads to sort of set this dress off. And here you go. 2 different princess cakes. A lot of fun, guys. You gotta try this. And the golden cake recipe that I gave you to use for this is just perfect for this type of thing. It's moist, it's tasty, and you'll enjoy it too. This would make a great cake for the special someone who enjoys princesses. You'll feel like you can have your cake and eat it too with this princess cake, and you'll feel a little bit hesitant to cut into it. At least I know we did, but it's worth it because then you can now eat it. We kept it on the counter for the day just so we could look at it and admire the beautiful dresses. Okay, now so we're going to move on to making the cake pops. All that extra cake is not going to go waste, and it's going to taste like you meant to make it. Place the cake into a large mixing bowl and crumble the pieces, and add some buttercream frosting to it, just enough to make it hold together. So this can be a little bit of a messy proposition, so I would put on gloves to do it. It'd just make your life a lot more easy. Now, I didn't actually measure, but I probably used between 5 and 6 tablespoons of frosting in order to get this to hold together nicely. But it depends how much of the cake you have left and how much frosting you need to add. So you just add it a tablespoon at a time, mix it together, add a little bit more until it starts to hold together well. Your cake should be finely crumbled. And go ahead and make nice sized cake balls, probably about 2 inches across. Once you have the cake balls all made up, I would go ahead and chill them in the fridge, cover them with a little bit of plastic wrap for 5 or 10 minutes even, not very long. You don't absolutely have to do that. I think it just helps a little bit when you go to coat them. I take these chocolate discs, they're Lindt chocolate. I like good quality chocolate, and it's milk chocolate that I'm using today. I melt it in the microwave for just seconds at a time until it's able to dissolve like this, and it is quite runny, the Lindt chocolate, which makes it a little bit messy, but I love the taste of it. Now you might laugh, I don't have any foam to stick these cake pops in, so I've created my own box. It's a Swiss chalet box, so I made holes in the side of it and just put them in. It's a little bit more sloppy, but hey, it worked. You can leave your cake pops just with the chocolate on it, or add some sprinkles or candies, whatever you like. It's kind of decorative to do that, but depends how you like it. Now place them in a cool spot, and it only takes a few minutes for this chocolate to set up nicely as well. I placed them out on the deck, and it was only a matter of 10-15 minutes and they were already starting to set. So you can set them in the fridge if you have room, whatever you like. This worked out really well with the golden cake and the chocolate frosting. Thanks so much for watching today's video, and if you liked it, please leave a comment in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. And whether you're making cake pops or princess cakes, you're sure to love this golden cake recipe. So until next time, happy eating, and now go make some!